In today's video, I'll be revealing exactly why early claiming has become one of the most common and most regretted financial moves in retirement. We'll break down what the data really says, the irreversible financial implications that most pre-retirees don't realize, and most importantly, how you can avoid locking yourself into a lifetime of smaller checks and missed opportunities. Through working with hundreds of clients who previously made early claiming mistakes, I've discovered that the pressure to claim benefits immediately often creates lifelong regret when retirees realize just how much income they've permanently sacrificed. So whether you're 58 and eyeing your options or 62 and unsure what to do next, this might be the most important video that you watch before making that decision. Let's get right on into it. The real question isn't, can I claim at 62? Of course you can. The better question is this: what is the true cost of claiming early, not just today, but over the entire span of my retirement? According to the Social Security Administration, retirees who claim benefits at age 62 receive up to 30% less per month for the life. 30%. And yet, last year, over 1.5 million Americans filed for early benefits at the first eligible age. Why is this? Because it feels safe. It feels like you're locking something in. But what if that decision, oftentimes made out of fear, uncertainty, or just plain up bad advice, ends up costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your retirement? That's what we're here to uncover. We're going to use hard numbers, real case comparisons, and practical strategies to help you make a decision based on facts and not fear. And by the end of this video, you'll have the framework that you need to assess your own Social Security timing with clarity. Let's start with where this problem began. In the 1980s, pensions were the norm. You worked 30 years, and a guaranteed check showed up in the mailbox every month. Meanwhile, Social Security was just a supplement. But as 401ks have replaced pensions throughout the 80s and the 90s into today, the burden of saving has now shifted to you. So it's your responsibility to be the planner, the investor, and the risk manager for your retirement. Enter in Social Security claiming. The government allows you to claim as early as age 62, but full benefits won't kick in until you're 66 or 67, depending on your birth year. For every month you claim early, your paycheck will be permanently reduced. So how much does that really cost you? Let's break it down. If your full benefit is $2,000 at age 67, claiming at 62 drops that to about $1,400. That's a 30% reduction, and that reduction is permanent. Over a 30-year retirement, that's a $216,000 loss, not counting cost of living adjustments. Plus, those cost of living adjustments apply to the smaller amount, which means that the gap gets wider each and every year. And it doesn't stop there. If you're the higher earner in a marriage, your early claiming reduces survivor benefits as well. Claiming early doesn't just reduce your check, it reduces your spouse's income if you pass away first. And that's before we even consider taxes, Medicare premiums, or inflation. This is where the myth of breaking even at age 82 gets dangerous. Sure, on paper, your total benefits claimed earlier may match what you'd get if you waited by your early 80s. But that's a narrow lens. It ignores inflation, longevity risks, survivor needs, and even future spending. So the better question isn't why break even? It's what am I giving up by locking in a lower benefit for the rest of my life? This is a critical decision that affects the rest of your retirement. And look, I'm not saying you should always delay. In fact, that would be just straight up bad advice. But you shouldn't blindly claim early and wind up regretting that decision. So why do so many retirees still claim early? Because the system nudges you to. Financial media loves headlines like 62 is the new 65. Friends at the golf course will say, take the money and run. And online calculators spit out break-even charts that miss the bigger picture. But the biggest factor? It's fear. Fear that the system will go broke. Fear that the market will drop. Fear of outliving my savings. So people claim early because it feels like control. But more often than not, these fears lead to permanent reductions. And the advice around claiming is often oversimplified. The break-even analysis is just one variable, and it assumes that you're average. But you're not. You're unique. And your plan shouldn't be based on what's best for the averages, but what's best for you. You might live longer than the average. You might need long-term care. And you might have a spouse that is going to depend on the survivor benefits. Each of these factors increases the cost of claiming early. And here's the reality. Every year you delay between 62 and 70, your benefit increases by roughly 8%. That's a guaranteed return. And try getting that in today's bond market. That increase isn't just larger monthly income, it's inflation-adjusted, tax-advantaged, and protected for life. Yet, few people see it that way because no one presents it that way. So now that you understand these regrets, click the link in the description to book a call, and I'll analyze your specific situation to show you how to optimize your retirement plan. Let's take a look at Tim. Tim retired from healthcare at 62, and he claimed his benefits immediately. At first, it felt great. Checks started arriving. It was almost like his income never even stopped. But 5 years in, he faced an unexpected reality. Healthcare costs rose, inflation ate in his fixed income, and his mobility declined. He needed more income just as his ability to earn disappeared. Meanwhile, his Social Security, still $1,400 a month, plus a small inflation adjustment. Although Tim was wishing for a significant raise, there were no increases, no additions to the benefit like an investment account, and no second chance. Meanwhile, his friend Mike waited until 67. He now receives $2,000 per month, over $7,200 more per year. And if Mike passes first, his wife will inherit that higher benefit. Tim's wife locked into $1,400. This isn't rare. It's actually common, and it happens more than you think. And early claiming also affects taxes and Medicare. Even if Social Security is your main income source, you still may be subject to federal taxation depending on your other income. And Medicare premiums are means tested, so mismanaging your income in 63 and beyond can trigger higher Parts B and D costs later on. The bottom line is this: early claiming locks in lower income, and that smaller benefit can reduce your flexibility, shrink your margin of safety on your investment withdrawals, and compound risk over time. You may feel in control at 62, but by 72, you might feel trapped. Which brings us to a better strategy. There's a smarter way to claim Social Security, and it starts with changing the question. Instead of asking, how soon can I get paid? Ask, how long do I need this income to last, and how do I increase my best worst case scenario? Because for most retirees, retirement will last somewhere between 25 and 35 years. In fact, around 30% of men and 42% of women who are 60 today will make it to age 90. That's why our preferred approach is what we call income matching. It aligns your guaranteed income sources, like Social Security, to your essential expenses. You can use other assets, bridge income, or even part-time work to delay claiming your benefit until it better matches your needs. Let me show you how it works. First, you want to define your fixed expenses. What are your true essentials in retirement? This will be things like your housing, food, insurance, utilities. You want to get a really realistic number of what this will be. If it's $3,500, you now know exactly what Social Security will need to replace and what other income sources must support that. Next, you want to assess your non-Social Security income. Do you have a pension, annuity, rental income, even things like investment distributions? If those bring in $1,500 a month, your Social Security benefit and other resources will need to recover the remaining $2,000. Next, we'll want to calculate the gap. The smaller the gap, the easier it is to delay. If the gap is too large, you can explore other temporary income strategies. And keep in mind, Social Security is a lever. If you plan a delay, but you absolutely will need it, then you can use it. But what you want to do is model your Social Security benefits at 62, 67, and 70. You can use resources like SSA.gov or a trusted retirement planning software. Don't just look at monthly amounts, compare your total lifetime income, survivor benefits, and the COLA differences. Next, you'll want to use a bridge strategy to delay claiming. This might look something like this. You'll be able to draw cash from your cash reserves or high interest savings accounts. You can tap into your brokerage account in a tax efficient manner. You can start to do Roth conversions to lower those future RMDs. And for some people, this might be working part-time or consulting for another few more years as you gradually enter into retirement. And even downsizing or relocating, a lot of times this is in the cards, and this can help you also reduce your living expenses. Each of these strategies will extend your timeline before you need to touch Social Security. Next, you'll want to evaluate tax optimization. Delaying your benefits may allow for strategic Roth conversions, reducing your taxable RMDs for later on in your 70s. It can also help you keep under those IRMA thresholds by lowering your Medicare premiums if you're strategic about it. And if you still have large IRA balances, the longer you should defer. This leaves a lot more room for tax planning, both for yourself and anyone that you're planning to leave money behind to. Also, if applicable, you want to protect your spouse. If you're the higher earner, delaying your benefits will boost the survivor benefit that your spouse will receive. This can be critical, especially if there's a health gap or a significant income difference. It could put a much larger safety net for the future for either you or your surviving spouse. Next, you want to reframe the goal. Social Security isn't about getting paid fast. It's about creating predictable, inflation-adjusted, lifetime income that will support you into your 90s and even beyond. Think of it as your own personal pension. And lastly, make it a part of your plan. While Social Security is an important piece of retirement income planning, don't get me wrong, it's simply just a piece. And if you're trying to solve your retirement puzzle with just one piece, Well, it's very hard to do so. It has to fit with everything else that you're trying to do. That's why it's important to model trade offs, look at taxes, the survivor impact, and even the long term projection. Ultimately, delaying Social Security often produces better outcomes, such as higher lifetime income, greater spousal protection, more optimal ways to do strategic tax planning in retirement, greater ability to handle higher healthcare costs, and increased investment longevity. There's a lot of variables when it comes to retirement, and it's not about being right. It's about being prepared, and that preparation can help you create peace of mind. So now you know the truth. Claiming early might feel safe, but the long-term consequences can be costly, irreversible, and even stressful. And you deserve better. So if you're approaching retirement or already in it and want to understand how to optimize your Social Security strategy along with your entire retirement plan, here's what to do next. Click the link below to book a call, and we'll analyze your financial picture, model your benefit options, and help you build a Social Security plan that maximizes your income, protects your spouse, and aligns with your ideal vision for your retirement. No one should make a permanent decision based on temporary fear. That's why you should make your retirement plan with a strategic one. I'm Kyle Kuyat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.